William Penn basketball is on the air from Penn Gymnasium on the campus of William Penn University. It's NAIA men's basketball as today your William Penn Statesmen play host to the Hornets of Harris Stowe State. Good afternoon and welcome inside Penn Gymnasium alongside Justin Burtis, Kylie Broadway with you. And we've got the nightcap, so to speak, of this three-day quadrangular, as you'd call it, between these four schools as William Penn and Harris Stowe State will wrap things up today. William Penn coming off of an impressive 82-52 win yesterday over Missouri Baptist, a game, Justin, that they did not shoot the ball very well at all.
No, this is a Statesman team that did get up to 86 points, but it really was not what we've been accustomed to seeing the past few years. They missed 50 shots over the course of the game. Despite the fact that they did have 18 points from Kamari Newman, and they shot 40% from the floor, but the fact that they only made, over the course of the game, 6 3-pointers in 29 attempts shows that they're still shaking off the rust a little bit. Obviously, it's not time to hit the panic button at all. They haven't taken a loss, and it's the first game of the year. They had only one exhibition game this year that normally they have a couple more, and they get a few more non-conference games as well. So it's certainly not panic time, and with one game on the schedule completed, it's now going to be a little more of, all right, what can they do to take their game up to the next level?
Harris Stowe State coming off of a loss yesterday afternoon to Mount Mercy by a score of 108-101, a high-scoring affair. But this is a Harris Stowe State team that actually receiving votes in the preseason polls that they had an early stumble yesterday.
Yeah, and of course, Deshaun Munson is their main man. He put up 33 points, played all but 1 minute, also collected 16 total rebounds, a double-double. He was up there doing that all day, all night last year, and that's why this team is receiving votes. Not because of him, they also have a couple good scores, as Martin Jr. collected 20 points, and Nick McKenzie also hit double figures, as he had 23, going 9 of 22 from the field, 5 of 15 from beyond the arc. But it's a team that, if Munson does not quite get completely open, is vulnerable to a better team effort. He does drive a lot of play, but if teams isolate him and force him to do everything and make it a track meet where the team beats him, they're going to be in a bit of a shaky proposition.
And that's a little bit of quite a stark difference between what you see in William Penn, a team that goes 8, 9, 10 deep, and really any of those top 10 guys capable of being the man on any given night.
Yeah, they essentially have 2 full starting lineups that they'll rotate through at various points throughout the game. And on top of that, they have a couple transfers that are trying to become, the 11th guy on the team, which is crazy to think of, as most teams want a good 6th guy, let alone a 7th. But to have 12, 13 that you can throw in is quite the advantage to John Henry and company.
Teams not only allowed to have 24 games this year, so important to get off to a fast start as, the number of games you'll have are limited. William Penn looking to go 2-0 on the young season before a little bit of a break. And they'll try for that second win here just after this. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back with starting lineups in the tip-off between William Penn and Harris Stowe State. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. William Penn William Penn and Harris Stowe State about to do battle here inside Penn Gymnasium. William Penn looking for their second win on the young season. Time now to take a look at the starting lineups for this afternoon's matchup. Harris Stowe State 0-1 on the year, coming off of a 108-101 loss yesterday to the Mustangs of Mount Mercy. Deshaun Munson is a 6'4 senior that Justin mentioned earlier out of East St. Louis, Illinois. Jamar Joseph is a 6'2 senior guard from Spring Valley, New York. He will wear number 2. Wesley Anderson Jr. is a 6'2 senior from Jonesboro, Arkansas. He'll be joined by David Spell, a 6'6 senior from Heron, Illinois. And Nick McKenzie is a 6'2 senior from Chicago. McKenzie wearing number 13. Harris Stowe State coached by Brian Dunlap. Assistant coaches are Derek Thompson and George Jefferson. Those are the Hornets. Here are your Statesmen. 1-0 on the year, coming off of an 86-52 victory yesterday over Missouri Baptist University. Kamari Newman is a 6'4 senior from Detroit, Michigan. He will be joined in the backcourt by Brandon Faison, a 6'2 senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Q Cager, the 5'10 senior from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Kavion Blaylock, the 6'6 senior from Houston Texans, will start on the front line. He'll be joined by Nathan Gearing, the 6'10, 220-pound senior from Waukee. William Penn, of course, coached by John Henry. Associate head coach is Blake Sandquist. Assistant coaches Don Hickenbottom, Justin Wyatt. Graduate assistant coaches are Cooper Murphy, Brian Rickey, and Jordan Helms. Justin, it's glad to be back with you, man.
Amen to that, Kylie. It's been, it feels like forever. Summer, fall, who cares about the seasons? It's been months. We should have been down in KC, but glad to be back here in Oskaloosa looking for home game number 2 to get started.
Feeling fortunate to have basketball in William Penn and Harris Stowe State about to do battle. William Penn in the home whites today. Harris Stowe State in the, I'm going to call them the alternate gold uniforms with white lettering, white numbers. Yeah, not a night game this afternoon. William Penn wins the tip, and as usual, they go on the attack in a hurry. Faison misses the layup. It's loose, though, and Gearing gathers it in and finishes.
That's exactly how yesterday started, though. Missouri Baptist won the opening tip. Statesmen in defensive stand. They found Gearing running the floor. He slammed it home. Despite a good drive by Newman, it's Gearing. He's on the board first again.
Munson with it for the Hornets. He will swing it over to the wing and David Spell. And Munson comes back and gets it. Here's Spell open from the left side. His 3 is no good off the front of the iron. And Blaylock gathers in his first rebound of the afternoon. Here's Newman. Left wide open from the wing. That's a mistake for Harris Stowe State, but Newman misfires on the shot attempt.
And Newman struggled yesterday, off to a miss on a 3 and a 2 so far on the day, but once he gets locked in, the Statesmen certainly will be a much better team. And it'll just take a game or so for him to find that smooth stroke that he had last year.
Here's Munson driving inside and scoring on Faison as he used the offhand to put it off the window. And we're tied at 2, just over a minute gone by here in the first half. Faison, a quick trigger 3 that's too strong.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's another one off the rim. It seemed like William Penn yesterday was just doing that, getting the right shot, but it just hit the rim, wouldn't go.
Here's Munson driving and misfiring.
Good coverage by Gearing as he slid over to help on the backside.
Cager with it in the corner. He'll fire up a 3. That one's no good. Blaylock tried to tap the rebound to himself on the weak side.
Ended up between double coverage there between Munson and Spell. Still, number 2, who's hyped to be an NAIA All-American this year, almost came away with it, but too early.
So William Penn struggling with the outside shot here in the early going. Here's a drive and a layup that's missed by Jamar Joseph. William Penn running the other way. Newman tried to whip a pass inside to Gearing.
I don't know what's Nate Gearing been up to here to start the season, but he's decided that he's just going to run down the middle and get every pass, it seems like, so far.
Here's Faison penetrating, now circling back out to the corner. Now we'll go baseline and reverse it up with the left hand. Pretty move there by Brandon Faison.
Very hard shot to pull off because you got to pick the spot before you turn and throw it back over your head. Did so to perfection.
Penn back on top by 2. Here's Munson backing down against Faison. He kicks it back out. The 3 is good from Spell.
Spell struggled yesterday. Only 2 points, missed all 4 of his 3 yesterday, but that's a good sign for Harris Stowe.
Here's Cager, a little crossover attack, and he finishes from the left side.
There are very few players in the NAIA that can get to the rim at will as Q Cager does. He just has a knack for getting around people. I don't know how he does it.
And not only can he get there, he can put his defender on skates at seemingly any time he wants to. Here's a foul away from the ball.
Spell will pick up his first.
And we've got a 20-second timeout called by Coach Henry. Before we go back to action, as I don't think he liked something defensively from his group. 6-5 our score. 3 minutes exactly gone by here in the first half. William Penn on top, 6-5 over Harris Stowe State as they look for win number 2 on the young season.
And it's interesting, Kyle, you mentioned defensive side. That's something that William Penn, despite missing 50 shots yesterday, did extremely well, especially for the first 10 minutes of last night's contest. Held the Spartans to shooting 25.7% from the floor. They were 9 of 35 in the first half. They missed all 6 of their 3-point shots. And they didn't get to double digits until 7 minutes to go in that first half. It seemed like William Penn was letting them drive to exactly where they wanted to, forcing them into contested shots, making some bad turnovers, and even some offensive fouls. So they might be changing things up defensively and offensively here, but at the moment, this team is a little more locked in on the D side, and credit to the scouting done by Cooper Murphy and Brian Rickey right there.
David Spell was whistled on that last foul. That's his first, team's first. And William Penn will go back on the attack. Faison with it, around a Gearing screen. Tries to whip it across. Gearing lost it, gathered it back, and is able to finish.
He had a couple dunks last night. He's got 2 tonight. Nate and Eddie splitting time last year, but Nate Gehring, towards the end of last year, seemed to kind of take over the role and really was producing at a high level offensively, especially in the championship game against Clark.
Well, yeah, if you think back to that championship game that you mentioned against Clark, Gehring was just a one-man wrecking crew in that one. Here's William Penn, quickly back on the attack after the make from the Hornets. Cager driving against Munson, contact, no call. And we're going back the other way. Munson may have gotten away with a walk and then is fouled on the shot attempt. Foul's going to be on Blaylock.
Munson yesterday 3 of 6. Last year 181 of 327, 55.4%. And he's got a real awkward way he shoots free throws. It's very confusing, but he makes it work just about half the time, according to the stats.
That one's good. An unorthodox shooting style, that's for sure.
But right there, that's the drive that the Hornets want. He gets the ball in transition, defenders to beat, and he is just so good at planting his feet, shaking, baking, and making people draw contact that he gets his points and his offensive boards.
Here's Faison left open from the outside. And he steps into a 3.
Leading the team with 5 points at the moment is Brandon Faison. Good to have him back as he missed the entire postseason run last year.
Yeah, and he was set, I believe, to come back in the national tournament last year before it was canceled. Here's Blaylock driving all the way and getting the roll.
His first 2 points of the night, of the day, and a good drive. KB with 2 defenders on him still just finds a way to slip through and put the layup up and in.
Munson now with the matchup with Blaylock. He drives inside and scores. Kavion did not want to commit his second foul. Cager got in the air with nowhere to go, threw it off the backboard, and then couldn't control it. Back come the Hornets with the basketball. It's Nick McKenzie. He'll fire up a quick 3 that's good.
He was a 40% three-point shooter last year, and as I said, he did really well last night to earn 23 points.
Faison, he's feeling it early on as he gets his 3rd field goal. That one a pull-up variety. Here's Munson kicking it out to the corner. The three is no good from Jamar Joseph. Cager with the rebound. Cager will drive all the way coast to coast.
And again, there's Q Cager just saying, I'm going to take this to the house and no one's going to stop me. I'll put it in the left hand, the right hand, a spinorama to boot. Lays it off the glass and in. 3-point lead for William Penn.
Well, if he's not the fastest, he is one of the fastest guys with the ball in his hands in the country.
It's almost
that
like
I've seen.
Yeah, there's glue on his hands, it looks like sometimes.
Here's
even though there's not.
From Spell, his second of the afternoon. He's got 8 points here in the early going.
Already better than his 2 from last night.
We're tied at 17. Here's Faison. Out to Gearing. Gearing spins around Spell and scores with the left hand.
After Harris Stowe State, you add in those 8 points from Spell to last night's total. All of a sudden, you're ahead 109-108. So that bodes better for them to keeping up with William Penn so far.
Munson hands off to Spell. Another three. That one no good. But nobody boxed out Munson. He gets the rebound. No good. Tip no good.
Oh. Ina Baker gets hit by Brandon Faison there. Looks like she's all good. Head coach Bailey Rhymes, her golf coach, giving her some laughs to that one.
Substitutions now across the board is Eddie Daly, Ahmad Pender, Chance Crusoe, and Josh Watkins all check in for William Penn.
Watkins so excited he almost forgot to take off the warm-up shirt.
A couple of new ones in there for the Hornets as well as Malik Martin Jr. in there as Munson scores. Also in there for Harris Stowe State, number 22, that's Riley Barnes.
Foul as Cager was driving, and that will go against Martin Jr., his first. Team's second. And this is the look here at almost the second unit here for William Penn. Kylie is everyone except Q Cager switched out here.
And we got a timeout called by Coach Henry. It's a full timeout. We'll take one as well. You're watching William Penn men's basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. William Penn basketball out of the timeout. We're tied at 19, 13-18 to play here in the first half. Good entertaining basketball on both ends so far in this one. Here's Watkins. Thought about a deep three. Instead will drive and kick out to Crusoe. Chance will let one fly. That one's short as he kind of double clutched it. And it's out of bounds to the Hornets. Watkins is one who caught fire late last year, especially in that conference tournament.
He was impressive, finished with double-digit points in all those Hart tournament games as his three-point shooting ability was on display. And interesting for Chance Crusoe, last year the main ball distributor for most of the season, then switched off with Q Cager, but he's been shooting a bit more here to start the season.
Here's a three that's good from Jamar Joseph. That's 5 3-pointers already for Harris Stowe State. Not even halfway through the first half. Watkins, though, answers right back in the corner.
That's a tough shot because he's falling towards that baseline. He still just put it right through the twine. Great shot, Josh Watkins. He's off to a good start. Nutted at 22.
Here's Munson. Joseph left open. He'll drive now at Daly. Forces one up. It's no good. Rebound loose, and that's going to be a foul on Joseph going over the back as he tried to go through a couple of William Penn players.
Jamar Joseph also was not at his best yesterday, as he did not really collect any points. And a silly foul there, as there were a couple white jerseys from William Penn on top of that rebound.
Wesley Anderson Jr. checks back in, replacing Joseph. Here's Crusoe driving inside, forces up a wild shot that's no good. As Crusoe a little out of control that time. Here's Munson inside, whipping a pass to the corner. Open in the far corner, and knocking down the three is Emalik Martin Jr.
He had a very good game, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc.
Watkins, though, answers right back off the find from Crusoe.
That's what he did in the hard tournament. He realized he needed to take a step up. He just would plant and bury 3 after 3 and swing the momentum back to his bench and his compatriots.
Here's Munson. Out it comes. They find it in the corner, and that one is no good from Riley Barnes. Cager into the front court for Penn. Cager between the legs, inside with the left hand. Shot no good, though. And the rebound taken by Spell.
And here's what the Hornets need to do. They need to make some hay, because Munson, when he drives, is drawing double, triple coverage, and he kicks, and no one's making those open looks. He got a little frustrated with that yesterday. Someone for Harris Stowe has got to make some other shots if they're going to keep up with William Penn.
Here's Munson forcing one up from the right baseline. He gets it to go off glass. He's got 10, and it's a 27-25 Harris Stowe State lead. Here's Eddie Daly stepping outside on the left wing.
He had a couple yesterday. Only picked up 6 points, but one of them was a triple shot, and he tried 5 of them.
There's a whistle and a foul away from the basketball. Or no, actually it's going to be a timeout called by head coach Brian Dunlap, as he didn't like where that possession was going. So we'll take one as well. 28-27, William Penn on top, 10:34 to play. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. Hornet basketball out of the timeout. They trail it 28-27, just about halfway through the first half. Munson, he's got 10 points here in the early going to lead the way for Harris Stowe State. He's guarded by Pender right now. He flips it out, and the three is no good from Martin Jr. And Penn on the run. Here's Daly getting position inside. His dunk attempt is blocked by Spell, but a foul is called. Actually, the foul is going to be on Riley Barnes. Nope, yeah. It is on Spell. I'm sorry.
That's a fantastic block by Spell. Goodness, he came flying in from the free throw line and slammed that ball right onto the backboard.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, is we've seen this in years past where that scenario, maybe last year, the previous year, Eddie probably tries to lay that one in. The fact that he rose up and tried to put that one down with authority, even though it got blocked, you know, I like to see it.
Yeah, he's growing in confidence. I mean, this team is always pretty confident, and even in a competitive game, they at times are still trying to make the nice play, the one that would land them on SportsCenter. They had a number of alley-oops yesterday, and a lot of times when you're playing with a lead, you can get away with that. But the fact that this team wants to do that, even when they're up by only 2, shows that they know that no matter what, they're going to be in a game. They're not going to be down and out. There's nothing that they really can't do.
And maybe it's just me because I've been away for too long, but I swear Eddie has grown a couple of inches since last year.
Nate looks older because he's grown out his beard over there.
Man alive.
I'm doing some high school football work on the radio, and the kids haven't gone and seen a barber in a while because they've been closed or whatnot, so there's a lot of mullets going on. Oh, Pender.
Pender caught the rebound, but his momentum took him onto the baseline where he stepped out of bounds. He thought he was able to to maintain it, but the official right there with the call.
He's another one kind of that didn't rack up as many points in the Hart tournament, but earned a lot more playing time, and there was a couple big jumps by that guy to put some layups and dunks down that really impressed everyone in the building, and the coaches like that guy a lot. And again, with this second unit, they roll out for 8 out of the middle minutes of this frame. He gets a little more playing time this year.
30-27 our score. William Penn on top. Here's Munson backing down against Pender. Daly comes over to help, altered the shot, and forces the miss. Here's Watkins, tries to bounce it into Daly. A tough pass, but Stowe State turns it right back over. Here's a three from the left wing that's good. Ty Malik Autry splashes it in. Malik Autry, a 6'5 junior from St. Petersburg, Florida, one of the newcomers on this year's squad. There's not a lot of them, but he's one. Here's a jumper that's good from Martin Jr. from the baseline.
Ty, a transfer from DMAC that they are really excited about, and at the moment he's kind of the leader of the newcomers in terms of who's going to get playing time, but you saw a couple of the other guys come in, and we'll see who kind of emerges as that 11th guy or 10th, because he's kind of been slotted into the second unit to start. They are on tie at the moment.
Crusoe is whistled for the travel, so the turnover and the layup from Martin Jr. for Stowe State. He's got 7 now.
He didn't come in for the first 4 minutes, but once he did, Stowe definitely played better with him than without him, and they're doing so again tonight.
Crusoe misses the pull-up jumper. Here's Munson on the other end, scoring.
Look at how he just shed Chance Crusoe, who's no slouch at defending, and he just said, please get out of my way. I'll get around you, and still scores, tied at 33.
I think Chance a little frustrated with the missed shot. Didn't hustle back, and here's Crusoe, left open. That three no good. Watkins in the corner, saves it to Pender. Out to Daly, 3-ball, no. Watkins, though, somehow takes the rebound away and scores inside.
Josh Watkins always puts a smile on your face whenever you see him. And look at that hustle there. Saving it acrobatically, scissors in the air, keeps it alive, and then finds himself all alone. Doesn't give up on the play and puts it back for another 2. Watkins up to 8 points.
Here's Munson turning it over as the pass took him out of bounds. And it's a turnover. We'll head the other way. 8:02 to play in the first half. Crusoe and Watkins check out. Faison and Cager back in. I thought maybe we were going to have our media timeout, but
we haven't had one yet.
Not so. We go under 8 minutes. Faison out to Malik Autry. Malik Autry back to Faison. Faison, he'll rise up and splash home a 3.
That's a couple for Faze, and last year he kind of was at times a point guard, at times a wing shooter, and he's kind of doing it again this year, working well at both ends. And quickly Faison over double digits.
Yeah, he's the first one into double figures for Penn today. He's got 10. It's a 5-point lead for the Statesmen. Here's Munson whipping it over to Martin Jr. in the corner. He'll drive, forces up a shot over the arm of Daly, and he gets it to go off glass.
And that you would say is a mismatch, but number 4 for the Hornets says, I don't care. Goes right under Eddie Daly and makes a smooth little layup.
Here's Cager driving inside, and a foul is going to be called on the floor. Blaylock's going to check in, replacing Pender.
A lot less fouls here so far in the first half. Yesterday there was a lot more in both games, so you kind of enjoy getting to see that as you get to see the teams play a little more than just foul shots. At the end of the game last night between Stowe and Mount Mercy, both teams were in the double bonus for the final 10 minutes.
Good action here in the first half. 7:04 to play. We do now have our media timeout, so we'll take one as well. 38-35 our score. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. Out of the timeout, William Penn will inbound it with Cager along the baseline. He'll lob it out to Faison. Here's Malik Autry, left wing. That three short. Blaylock, though, got his hands on the rebound on the weak side, but couldn't corral it. And we'll come back the other way. Munson driving inside, forcing one up. It's no good, but he tips it home over Malik Autry.
And he's up to 14. He's probably close in on double digits in rebounds.
Here's Daly, though, on the other end, powering his way through for two.
Yeah, he's up to 6 rebounds as Munson, so well on the way to his averages.
Here's Martin Jr. That three is no good. And the rebound taken by Blaylock. Faison into the front court. He'll pull up from the left wing. That one off the mark. Rebound tapped out of bounds. It'll stay on this end with William Penn.
I think it's something that Kavion Blaylock is underrated at. It almost looks casual, the way he just takes the ball in one hand and absolutely zips it almost the length of the floor to right into someone's hands. It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
We tried to run a lob to him off the inbounds, but Tarasso State was there defensively. Faison, a tough turnaround shot from the right elbow, and he gets it to go in.
Both of these teams watched the other play yesterday, so obviously the scouting reports are in, and they've devised some defensive schemes to try and slow down some of the scoring plays, and that's why it's a 5-point game, Kylie.
Here's Spell driving in. His shot blocked away. Faison with a rebound. Up ahead it comes to Cager. Cager has his shot attempt blocked, but Daly's there to clean it up. Faison open from the top of the key, too strong. Cager, though, with an offensive rebound, and he'll go to the line.
That was a great pass to Cager, a little quarterback style there. He had to look over his shoulder and then had the presence to feel Martin Jr. behind him stop, and then eventually gets the second effort and puts it up and in. KB came flying by with a slap on the backboard as he tried to throw it home as well.
Q Cager at the line.
He was 1 of 2 yesterday.
First one is pure. Gearing and Newman will check back in as Eddie Daly and Ty Malik Autry will get a breather.
7 points for Cager, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, led the team in helpers last night in 20 and change that he played.
Cager's second one is too strong. Cager with 5 points here in the first half. Here's Munson driving, had the layup rim out, and the rebound is saved to Gearing. He tried to shuffle a pass over to Cager, though, and it's taken away. And scoring is Martin Jr.
Munson and Martin Jr. were sniffing around for an easy steal, and they got it because Gearing didn't feel their presence, and he was a little casual on the outlet.
Here's Blaylock, a step back three that's off the mark, as he's been quiet here in the first half.
Yesterday, same thing, 11 points. And only had 8 rebounds, so not totally quiet, but perhaps drawing a little more attention because he doesn't have Dexter Hood to eat up all of the attention from the defensive schemes of the other team.
Yeah, you know Blaylock is at the top of every opponent's scouting report this year. Here's Munson scoring inside again.
And that's something the Statesmen might have to do to figure out how to get coverage away, is maybe get Gary and Daly more active just so that they have to focus more on the perimeter and the post, leaving Blaylock to work on the wing.
Here's Faison and a foul on the floor. I'll tell you what, Munson stands at 6'4". He's a thick body. He could go play linebacker if he wanted to.
I would not want to be a running back catching something in the flat to look up and see that guy running at me, that's for sure. And he's not in probably football shape, if you want to call it that.
Faison misses the second. 43-41 is our score.
And this is the look that Harris did a lot yesterday. Just let him work one-on-one.
And he draws a foul, this time on Gearing, as Gearing tried to swat down and block it. Munson at the line. He'll get 2. He's got 16 points so far here in the first half.
Harris Stowe shooting 50%, William Penn 48 so far.
First free throw is good.
Both teams shooting around 40% from beyond the arc. Statesmen have missed 2 free throws. Harris Stowe remains, well, was going to remain perfect before it lipped out. They're now 3 of 4.
We approach the 4-minute mark of the first half. 43-42. William Penn and Harris Stowe State locked up in a good one. Again, William Penn, the 4th-ranked team in the country preseason, as Blaylock drives baseline and hammers it home.
That's what the Statesmen are accustomed to, and that's what they want more of, is Blaylock finding some time and space and just going to work on people.
Harris Stowe State, this is the team that was receiving votes in the preseason poll. Were upset yesterday, but giving William Penn a battle here in the first half this afternoon.
And Munson talking to Spell, saying, why are you traveling? That's an easy pass and an easy score if you just dribble the basketball.
Here's Cager driving inside, has it stripped. His last touch, though, by the Hornets.
Interesting battle is Jamar Joseph trying to keep position against Kavion Blaylock.
That pass out to Newman, tipped out of bounds by Martin Jr.
That's a new look that we didn't see last year. It's obviously something that William Penn has new up their sleeve for the inbound plays.
Gearing, hands off to Faison. Faison out top. They lob it to Gearing. Gearing lets the second defender fly by, and then they tip it out of bounds, so William Penn will inbound again. Cager gets a breather as Crusoe checks back in.
Hugh with 5 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds so far on the day.
Crusoe into Newman. Newman with 3 on the shot clock. Needs to recognize it, has to let one go. And it's off the rafters. And it's a turnover.
And that is the person that will have to not rediscover himself, but really find his game for us, Kamari Newman. Last year he came out absolutely red hot. I think he had 20 points over the first few games, average, as he was just putting threes in from everywhere. At the moment, not quite finding that zone that he was in.
Well, I think about the midway point last year, he may have been on track to get the school record for threes in a season, but then fell on some hard times in the second half of the season. Here's Faison putting one in off the lob from Gearing.
And again, at the other end, it was Munson who not only got the drive, got the offensive rebound, and just continued to work away, and is keeping it a 3-point game.
Spell and Gearing collide on the inside, and a jump ball is going to be called.
Good read by Gearing to just slide on up. Went for the strip, and they both then slammed into each other, take a tumble. Both seem okay. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 2:31 to go in this first half, Kylie, and it's back and forth. No one's really taking an edge.
I think there's some confusion as to whose possession this actually is.
It's the only annoying thing in our position is we can't see the possession arrow.
It will be Hornets basketball. Here's Munson. Over to the corner and Spell. His 3 is no good. Faison with the rebound. Faison up ahead to a Gearing running the court, who's able to catch it and lay it in softly with the left hand. That's a great catch and finish by Gearing off the outlet pass.
And again, you didn't see that a lot last year. All of a sudden this year, they're just telling, hey, we need you to run. And he's just beating defenses. And normally you don't expect your big, tall guy to be the one that's breaking away with a burst out of the gate like Gearing has. But it's been making him work. He's up to 8 points. He had a couple big dunks yesterday.
Here's Munson, guarded by Blaylock. He'll drive inside, left it short. Blaylock tips it out to Faison. Here's Faison to Crusoe. Crusoe inside, tried to spin it off the back of the iron. Look out, bodies falling all over the place. And the foul's going to be on Blaylock. He tried to tip dunk the missed layup.
And he was in no man's land
He
there.
held onto the rim just to try and brace himself. He ends up coming down on the Harris-So State player.
Well, at the same time, if you hold on for too long, they call a technical on you. So he was like, well, do I hang on here and get called for something? And then just finally said, well, I got to come down. And unfortunately for Spell, that meant he got a KB on his back, but both again are okay.
Second foul on KB. 49-44, minute 40 to play. Here's Martin Jr. spinning, shooting a tough fall-away shot.
I don't know how that wasn't a foul.
Gets
Chance
it to go. Wow.
got his hand right in the face from Chance.
Here's Faison inside, a little scoop layup, no good. Gearing's tip rolls out. It's out of bounds, though. It'll stay here with the Statesmen.
Something that William Penn has done a very good job on so far has been, both yesterday and today, staying alive on the offensive board. There are very few times that they are not trying to contest the rebound when they get a shot away. And that's something that will really help them out.
Blaylock checks out. Here's Faison with another three. He's got 17 points here in the first half. Here's Martin Jr. against Faison. He'll drive. Faison got a hand on it. Crusoe into the front court to Newman. Newman lobbed to Pender. Pender, though, couldn't corral it. Tried to tip it home and it was too strong. The lob was a little high.
Luckily for Kamara Newman, he didn't get called for travel there. That was a little suspect when he made the catch and then started to drive the lane. But applause for Brendan Faison. He's decided that he's going to step up here today. Double digits, and we're under a minute to go.
Munson will walk into the front court. He drives inside, and the layup no good. Cager into the front court. Cager, William Penn playing 5-on-4 because Munson is still down on the other end of the court as he, after the missed layup, he literally just slowly walked and he never made it back to the midcourt logo.
I think he was expecting William Penn to score it super quick so he could be available for a cherry pick, but didn't. And now there's 5 seconds between shot and game clock. Okay, they're going to try an ISO once again.
Munson against Pender and a bad pass. And Pender, Crusoe with the outlet pass, and there was a whistle, I think a foul in the backcourt. Somebody grabbed Crusoe or something.
Munson will pick it up. That's his first, team's 8th. As Chance is trying to sling that one, I think Munson just reached and locked his arm in there.
And you think he just tried to eliminate the fast break, so to speak.
The tactical foul, if you will.
You wonder if that could be considered an intentional foul if there was no play on the ball. And I think they're going to come to the monitor to take a look.
Our first replay of the year, Kylie Broadway, unless there was something
we had one Friday night.
Oh, I missed it.
Well, we had one Friday night with, I think it was like 6 or 7 seconds left.
Oh, gosh.
The game was out of reach. It was a 10-point game or something. I mean, it was out of reach. But they went to the monitor to check to see if a player was out of bounds when he caught the pass. And I mean, they did what they had to do. It was a questionable. They weren't sure, so they wanted to make sure it was right. But
now, if the referee,
it had no effect on the outcome.
Right. Now, if the referee here, Kylie, would just be ever so kind, just to slide a little to his right, we could see the replay too, but which we couldn't last year at the scorers table. So
we need to see if Wade can hook us up with like a bigger monitor.
Oh yeah, or just have one right here.
Or feed to that so we could take a look at it.
Jeez.
I just saw one of the officials signal that it is going to be a 1-and-1. So obviously they did not determine that there was an intentional foul or a clear path foul violation there.
I feel it takes a lot to get that call because it's that is basketball a contact sport? Because it is and it isn't. But if it isn't, it is. No basketball.
Chance for Crusoe.
50% yesterday, 1 of 2 from the line.
It's a 1-and-1 opportunity. First one is no good. Left it short. Now Munson and Harris Stowe State will hold for the final shot. Munson against Cager, and Cagel is going to be whistled for the foul out top. That'll be Cager's first.
Team's fifth. They had a couple to give. Now 4.2 to go.
Malik Autry checks in for defensive purposes for Kamari Newman.
And Harris still wants to draw something up here with the timeout to potentially cut the lead to just a couple baskets here.
Coach Dunlap going to try and draw something up here for the final 4.2 seconds. We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. (54-46). Munson will inbound right in front of the William Penn bench. 4.2 on the clock. Munson gets it into Spell. Gets it right back, and then a foul as Cager and Munson collided. That'll put Munson at the line for a 1-and-1. Or no.
That's team foul
just a sixth team foul. I thought it was the seventh.
Yeah, the board is frustrating because it changes the team foul first before it adds the individual. So if you're not right looking at it.
They lob it in. Cager pokes it away. Good defense there by William Penn on the final possession. They had a foul to give. They used it. And then the lob pass by Munson was knocked away. And we go to break. 54-46. William Penn on top by 8 here at halftime. We'll take a timeout. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. Halftime between William Penn and Harris Stowe State, 54-46. And before we get going here in the second half, Justin, let's take a look at first half stats.
Harris Stowe shot 46% from the field, 19 of 41, 5 of 13 from beyond the arc for 38%, 7 of 3 from the stripe. William Penn, 47% from the field, 22 of 46, 7 of 18 from deep, 38%, 50% from the line, 3 of 6. Rebound battled, favored William Penn by a smidge, 28-21, 10-5 offensive, as again, William Penn doing a good job of getting some second chances. 18-16 defensive, still favors the home side. Steals even at 3-3. Harris Stowe 6 turnovers compared to William Penn's 4. And each team has 2 blocks. 19 points for Deshaun Munson leads the way, also has 9 rebounds. 13 points for Martin Jr., second on the team. While 8 points for David Spell is third. For the Statesmen, Brandon Faison, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. The top mark for WPU, 10 points, 4 boards for Nate Gehring, and 1 assist. 8 points for Josh Watkins, and 7 for Eddie Daly. Pretty balanced between the two teams, despite the fact that William Penn has been able to run 2 units. It seems like the 5-6 guys on the floor that Harris Stowe is working through are able to keep up with this high-powered offense.
Yeah, they've gotten some nice contributions from the likes of Martin Jr. and Spell. I mean, you knew Munson was going to get his, and he's certainly done that. For William Penn, Blaylock, as a headliner, he's been relatively quiet, but I thought Brandon Faison was extremely key in that first half.
And again, something that we didn't see towards the end of that season last year, because he picked up a wrist injury and missed seeing him in the Hart tournament. As you said, he was going to come back for the NAIA run that we didn't get to, but perhaps playing with that little bit of, I don't want to call it disrespect, but maybe feeling like he's been forgotten by everyone, showing that, hey, he was a big part of the reason that William Penn started off so hot, as he was a starter from day one, and he is certainly doing very well tonight. We'll have to see who else kind of steps up here the rest of the way and starts putting in some buckets for William Penn. Obviously, you're going to look to see if Tavion Blaylock can get going, but will Eddie Daly get some more? Nathan Gehring? Can Kamari Newman get a little bit of that monkey off his back and start putting something in from deep?
I think one of the things you have to like so much about Blaylock is he's not one to force it. If it's not working or if it's just, if other guys are hot, he will readily let them go and just kind of take his stuff when it comes. And as I say that, they run a play for him right out of the break, and he lays it up and in from the left side.
Well, this will be the interesting thing for William Penn. Without Dexter Hood, is this a team that's a one-person show like KB is going to have to be that guy this year? Or will they win and beat you with everyone getting about 10 points, which if everyone did, that's 100 points if you include the second line.
Munson answers back on the end for Harris Stowe State. Here's Gehring on the inside with a little baby hook. And he's got 12 now in the ball game. Good for second on the team. Munson is it's a constant back in on the baseline against the defender and see what he can do. And that time, Faison came on the help and commits the foul.
First down on Faison. And again, seems like Harris Stowe is happy to take that matchup. Everyone else is on the far side of the court, just letting him go to work. And Gehring tried to help late, but it was too late as Faison committed the foul.
Munson's first free throw is good. He'll get another. It's 58-50. Munson's now got 23 in the ball game. Faison, right wing, drives inside, now circles back to the baseline. His jumper is good. Count it. Foul's going to be whistled, I believe, on Nick McKenzie, who got him on the arm. But a pretty shot there by Brandon Faison.
That's a couple he's made falling away or just not really in a square position, traditional shooting stance. He certainly is finding the net tonight, feeling that shot and trusting it no matter if there's a defender in his face or he's given a little bit of space.
He's got 20 so far. Here's a three that's no good. Munson, though, with an offensive rebound. And the finish on the inside. Here's Faison. Pulls up from the right elbow. He's got two more.
That sets a new high for him, at least compared to last year. He had 20 points twice against Grandview and Clark in the regular season last year. But 22, a new high, at least over last year.
That's an offensive foul on Munson as Faison saw what was about to happen, set his feet, took the contact. And it's a turnover. And we'll come back the other way.
9 field goals, also a new high compared to last year, where his high was 8. And he also had 4 3-pointers last year, and he's 1 away from reaching that mark as well as a single game high.
Faison into the front court. Hands off to Newman. Straight on three. Good! Well, they ran the play to perfection. That's what Henry wanted. Newman with his first field goal. That's got to feel good for him.
Especially for a guy that likes to shoot it from anywhere outside the arc, from something that deep.
And this is the largest lead, or excuse me, was the largest lead. Munson, though, gets a layup to cut it to 12.
We'll
Munson's got 27.
See if Newman can make a couple more of those. Because normally once he finds the range, he's able to start splashing him down pretty quick. But he'll be inbounding here, and here's Stowe trying to run some pressure.
Good job by Faison. Able to make a couple of cuts and create space. They run it again. This time Newman's covered up. He drives inside, but he's called for the travel before the dish to Gearing.
That's very, very close, but he did pick up the basketball at the free throw line. So, I mean, as a kid who was taught that 2 steps is all you get in the modern age, that's probably not a travel, but according to my 6th grade basketball knowledge, that is a travel. But
here's Blaylock coming over help side to swat the shot from Munson out of there. Newman on the other end for 3, too strong. Cager, though, taps the rebound to Gearing. Cager drives inside, left hand finish, and 1.
You have to give credit to Spell there, who made himself very, very tall to force Newman to throw it just a little higher than he wanted. But Cager and Gearing combined to get the O board, and Cager does the rest as he slips on inside. And a pretty right to left hand transfer. He's got it up for an and 1.
Cager completes the 3-point play, and the lead is 15. Cager's with 8. Good energy out of the locker room from the Statesmen. Here's a drive, and the finish from Martin Jr.'s no good. William Penn running the other way. Cager to Faison in the corner. 3 no good. And Martin Jr. with the rebound on the weak side. Here's a drive and a shot that's no good, but an offensive rebound. Over it comes, and the shot blocked. Joseph Gearing was there to poke it away. Newman spinning inside, lost it. Out of control was Kamari Newman. 3-on-2 the other way for Harris Stowe State. The drive and finish by Joseph. And that's going to be number 3 on Kavion Blaylock.
Him and Gearing did really good the last time the Hornets ran the floor. Both just standing tall, keeping the hands straight up and down. And they combined for a couple blocks between them, but then Blaylock didn't have his feet settled as Joseph made the drive, and his free throws up and in.
Just when you thought William Penn was ready to break it open, Harris Stowe State gets a 3-point play. Still a 12-point deficit, though. Here's Blaylock. He'll drive right side and put it up high off the glass. And the soft touch from Kavion Blaylock.
Coach Blake Sanko is yelling out ISO, ISO. Blaylock heard it, took it himself as they realized that the defense were not going to be able to help out.
Here's Munson inside against Gearing, and the foul's going to be called on Nate. He's claiming that it was an offensive foul to no avail. Ahmad Pender will check in as Blaylock, with those 3 fouls, is going to take a seat.
8 points, 5 boards for Blaylock so far on the night.
Martin Jr. with the basketball. He'll drive around Cager and lost it. Faison comes out of there with it. Skips it across to Cager. Cager to Newman in the corner. 3 on the way. No good. And Munson, cherry picking all alone on the other end, will finish.
Great connecting passes from William Penn, but again, someone's able to get in front of Newman, who got a contested look.
Here's Cager on the drive, and he's fouled.
And I think, again, Newman just not quite settled with someone actively defending him. Maybe not seeing that as practice as much and not getting the threes as he's accustomed to, but fourth team foul now against the Hornets, and Cager thought it was an inbound play. Now he's coming back to the line.
Free throw from Q is good. He'll get one more. Riley Barnes checks in as Martin Jr. will get a breather.
I'd assume it's a short one. He only missed 4 minutes last night. Munson only missed 1 last night. Those two out there often. Just a quick talk, and he's going to come back in.
Cager into double figures now with 10 after getting both free throws. Here's Munson inside. Shot no good. Left it short. Faison out of there with the rebound. He'll speed into the front court to Newman in the corner. Newman will drive baseline. Shot fake, and he's called for the travel. Daly, Watkins, and Crusoe all check in as Newman, Gearing, and Cager will check out.
Newman did a good job of getting to the basket yesterday, but just has not been able to find the lanes as he did 24 hours ago. It feels a little closer than 73-59.
Here's Martin Jr. He'll drive baseline. Tough shot that's no good. And we've got a foul on the rebound. It's going to be on David Spell. That'll be his second.
Over the back on the rebound attempt.
Faison into the front court. He's guarded by Martin Jr. Faison, a step back from just inside the arc, no good. That's a forced shot from Faison that time.
Yeah, that one's probably one the coaching staff want him to sling the rock around a little bit more and run the play.
Here's Spell from the right wing. His 3 is no good. Offensive rebound, though, for the Hornets. The shot off the glass from Joseph, no good, but the Hornets crashing the offensive glass here in the second half, giving themselves second and third opportunities.
And cut the offensive rebound margin to 4, 11-7, still favorites William Penn, but Joseph had 3 Statesmen all around him. He still managed to get up and get a decent look.
Here's Pender inside. Pretty move, but he couldn't get the finish. Here's Martin Jr. back the other way. Munson guarded by Crusoe. Munson drives inside and just muscles his way up through Crusoe and Daly. He's got 31.
Eddie did all he could, or excuse me, Chance did all he could to slide around the screen and Martin stay with Munson, but Daly didn't seal off that baseline quick enough. And that's now the 4th on Martin Jr. That's got to be a little worrying because, again, Harris Stowe doesn't have the biggest bench.
Here's Watkins off the inbounds. Corner 3 rattles out. And Spell with the rebound. Here's Martin Jr. driving inside. No good. Daly with a rebound. Out it comes to Watkins. 3-on-1 the other way. Watkins is just going to line up a 3 and drain it. You cannot give him space and time to line one up. How often do you see a 3-on-1 break and the guy with the basketball pulls up for a 3?
And it's unfortunately for Harris Stowe, Munson back, and he just kind of stood there and waited to see what would develop, and Watkins quite happy to take the three, and it's Martin Jr. down at the other end who's not looking good. And that is why we have a timeout here on the floor, Kylie.
The thing I like about Watkins there is he didn't rush it. He knew, hey, I've got time. No one's behind me. I've got teammates to the left. So he took his time to gather himself and drained it. 76-61. Martin Jr. to the bench. William Penn's trainer is over there looking at him.
Yeah, and again, Watkins, when he's shooting from deep, he has just a nice, easy shot. And he almost made that one in the corner, so he is almost 2 for 2 to start this second half.
Here's Joseph, though, in the corner, knocking one down. Daly inside against Spell. Nice job. Kind of used his right half to shield Spell away and then finished with the left hand.
Good lead pass there from Faison, too, right? Led him to the basket.
Ooh, Joseph, same spot, same result.
That was contested, too. I feel like this one's going to be another around the century mark here, Kylie. We're got 12 minutes to go, and William Penn almost at 80.
Here's Crusoe out to Daly. Daly, a standstill three. That one's short. Maybe a little out of Daly's range as he was a couple of feet behind the line.
Yeah, he likes to stand close to the straightaway right on top of the line.
Here's Munson inside scoring again.
It's impressive how that guy can just spin and twirl his way through anyone. And even if your whole team defense is trying to stop him, he still finds a way to get a shot away.
He's got good body control, and he won't settle for outside shots. It's not his game. He is around the rim. Here's a foul underneath off the miss. They're going to call a double foul between Pender and Joseph.
Referee pointed at both.
He said white ball, but he pointed the other way. So it's either,
yeah.
I think it's still William Penn basketball. Well, now they're going to change and say gold ball.
William Penn shooting 48% from the floor. Harris Stowe 46. WPU 9 of 26 from deep. The Hornets 7 of 17 so far on the night. Munson the leading scorer of all with 33. 22 for Faison leading the Statesmen.
Here's Munson. Drives around Pender. A little scoop layup is good.
How do you hold on to the ball like that, Kylie?
I'm not sure defensively what you do. Here's a three from Faison, no good. Eddie Daly, though, with the offensive rebound and finish.
Good job boxing up, puts it right back down. But yeah, if you're trying to guard Munson, you almost could stack three in a row and you'd probably go all around him.
And at what point maybe you just sag off of him and say, if you want to shoot the 10 to 12 footer, we'll give it to you. Versus letting him get to the rim each time. Here's a block by Watkins. Joseph tracks it down. No, he'll drive inside. No. Munson, though, is there for the follow.
Watkins just pushed a little too far forward to then grab it and go, but did a good job to interrupt the play. Here's Stowe, still scores, though.
Here's Watkins. Thought about it. Now he will let it go. That one is short. Munson with the rebound. He's running the other way. Munson has it poked away on the way up.
Good hands by Watkins as Munson on the flyby. He did a good job to not foul, got all the ball to knock it out. I thought for a second he was going to line up and try and take some contact, but knocked out of bounds. And it looks like we're going to have a break in the action.
Full timeout called by head coach Brian Dunlap. We'll take one as well. 80-73, Harris Stowe State trying to hang in there. 10:55 to play. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. 80-73 is our score. William Penn on top. 10:55 to play. Munson will inbound. And he gets it in to Anderson Jr. Here's Spell in the corner. A three that's short. Blaylock. Well, no, actually Gearing chases down the rebound in the corner. Here's Cager. Cager, Newman, Blaylock, and Gearing all back into the ball game.
Good save right there by Chance Trousseau. Keeps the offensive possession alive.
Here's Blaylock. His defender had his arm hooked underneath him. No call. Here's Newman. A quick pull-up that's good.
That's some really good, strong plays athletically by William Penn to not only save it on the inbounds pass, but kick it out twice. And eventually Newman's able to settle at the far elbow and sink it.
Here's a three that's no good. And Trousseau gathers in the rebound on the baseline. Trousseau to a trailing Cager. Cager, a little stop-and-go move inside, and the foul's going to be on Munson, I believe. No, actually, they're going to whistle it on David Spell. And that'll be his third. Munson's got 37. He may get 50 on this one.
Yeah, with 13 needed and 10 to go, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
9:59 to play. Media timeout on the floor, so we'll take one as well. 82-73, William Penn on top. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network. Cager at the line out of the timeout. First free throw is good.
William Penn almost has 6 players in double digits as Blaylock is a pair of points away from 10. Meanwhile, it's Munson with 37, 12 and 13 for Joseph and Martinez, respectively. And that's really 8. David Spell has 8, but he's also got 3 fouls, so he'll have to be careful. Good defense by Trousseau as the Hornets continue to work it around.
Here's a three off the mark from Anderson Jr. William Penn running. Gearing filling the lane.
Again, everyone just kind of clears open that space right down the gut, and Gearing is just trucking on through, taking the pass and slamming it home back-to-back days.
Yeah, nice find by Cager. He was in the corner. He took the outlet pass, and then he just quickly flipped it to Gearing, who was in the lane wide open.
Running again.
Here's an up pass up ahead, but Cager not able to put enough air under it, and Spell was able to pick it off, but I think Coach Henry likes that thought idea from Cager on that one. Here's Munson, and he's fouled inside.
That's right there. KB actually talking to the referee and saying, no way. That guy is stoic as an ice cube out here on the basketball court. Rarely says anything, rarely sees any emotion. You just get that stare of, I'm just going to do my thing and put up points and grab rebounds all day long. That's his 4th foul.
Free throw from Munson is good. And I think you're going to probably see Faison come in for Blaylock. Second free throw's no good. Trousseau into the front court.
Yeah, if Cager had put a little more air on that pass to Gearing that was intercepted, you've probably seen most of the crowd coming to their feet because that would have been back-to-back beautiful plays to Nate Gearing for the Slamorama.
Here's Newman. Newman, a shot fake, goes to the left elbow. The little floater is good.
Uh-oh.
And Gearing is down. He may have taken an elbow or something to the midsection as he is hunched over.
Yeah, I think
in
you're
the
right.
lane. And I'm assuming they're going to come to the monitors to take a look to see if it was anything intentional or anything dirty. Daly's going to come in for Gearing. He's walking around, looks to be okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. Probably a swing.
He just motioned to Josh Watkins. He just took like someone just took an elbow and just right in the gut.
Yep. Well, let's see what comes out of this. As replay monitor is up and
we're blocked again. You could probably get a little bit if we move to the right further.
I feel really awkward to just run down and stick my head in between them, though.
88-74 is our score. 8:35 to play. Take this time to tell you about the upcoming schedule for William Penn. As they'll get all of this week off until Saturday, when, believe it or not, they'll start conference play with a trip to Benedictine next Saturday, November 14th. And then they return home for a non-conference game on November 17th. That's next week, Tuesday. And then they go on the road for Grandview, Culver Stockton, Mount Mercy, Midland, and Morningside. Next week, Tuesday, will be their last home game until December 2nd, believe it or not.
Quick side note, Kylie, looking at the replay, it's going to be close. Kind of got an angle, and it looked like he did take an elbow, but it's right on the edge if the guy was trying to box him out too. So they're getting the third ref involved. And back to the schedule, that trip to Benedictine, you made it last year. That was a very hotly contested game, not only because Benedictine handed the Statesmen a loss, but a lot of the crowd seemed to be creating a lot of angst, is what I heard from the coaching staff. So that will be an interesting trip back down there, a little revenge on the Statesmen mind, and a win to start Hart play overall. Again, with the two standings formation down to the Hart Conference, that's the only time they'll see Benedictine until, if and when they were to play him in the Hart tournament.
Yeah, and they've lost their last two trips to Benedictine. The men have fallen in defeat. So I'm sure they've got that one circled and ready to go. And again, like you said, you want to start out conference play with a win, more importantly than just beating a certain team. You want to get off to a good start in conference play. Unfortunately, we will not be able to bring that game to you, as we are not allowed to travel to away games this year due to restrictions due to COVID-19. At least that is the case as of right now. Whether that changes as the year goes on, we will see. But so you'll have to tune into the Benedictine broadcast to watch and hear that one. Referees are still taking a look at this.
Oh, here we go. Oh, man, that is...
I think it's going to be more just part of the box out.
That's close because he does kind of load up with the left arm, but I think it's in the motion of boxing out that I think he'll get enough leeway here to get away with it. Not saying it was intentional, but I don't think there's going to be a foul coming out of this, especially the way the referees are setting things up, and Munson's getting the ball out of bounds.
No, they're going to say it's just part of the box out move. An inadvertent elbow, so nothing intentional.
Here, Stowe plays Baker Ness before being home against Philander Smith. And they'll start conference play away to William Woods before they play Hannibal LaGrange and William Baptist at home as they get things going down there.
Here's a three on the way from Anderson Jr. It's no good. William Penn running the other way. Cager, that little crossover step. Shot no good, though. Here's a drive inside right at Crusoe, and missing was Riley Barnes. Here's Faison inside with the right hand scoring.
24 for Faison, and great defense by Eddie Daly on that loose ball. He just reached out because of his size and arm stand and just plucked the ball out of midair. Turned, and the Statesmen are off and away in the transition offense.
Largest lead of the afternoon is 16. 7:45 and counting. Here's Munson driving inside, whipping it out to Anderson. They go over to the corner, and misfiring was Barnes. Cager to Faison. Back to Newman. Newman with a shot fake, dribbles to his left, fires it up, no good. Daly almost had the offensive rebound.
That's the Kamari Newman we saw last season, but just came off a little to the left of the rim.
Here's Joseph misfiring. All of a sudden, neither team can buy a bucket.
That was the end of the game yesterday. No one really seemed to want to score, and it looked like the final was going to be a lot higher, but things just kind of settled out to that 86-52 mark that came up at the end of the clock.
Here's Newman driving inside. A little floater is no good, but a foul is going to be called. They're going to get Anderson Jr. on the bump.
Foul number 10, Wesley Anderson Jr., third personal, 19th foul.
Newman yesterday was 6 of 6. Make him 7 of 7 to start the year from the stripe.
Pender, Blaylock,
For the game for the Statesmen,
check in. Trousseau and Daly will get a breather.
Kavion Blaylock. For the Hornets, number 13.
Chance will be the project as the Statesman team moves forward. Obviously, a couple seniors in front of him at the moment. Still earning his minutes. He's still a pretty good player, but I think he's the one that they're still trying to just help him figure out how to distribute the ball and try and improve that shooting ability. You've seen it a little more this year. He's been willing to take a shot when they give it to him, because last year defenses just stood way back of him because they knew he wasn't really going to take a deep shot.
Here's Munson driving. Good defense there by Pender. Forced the tough shot. Here's Watkins. A deep pull-up three. Watkins now with 14. That's his fourth from beyond the arc. Here's a jumper, no good. Watkins had the rebound but lost it out of bounds. And it'll stay on this end with the Hornets.
What just a good drive by Watkins. Got to the NAIA logo, stopped, planted, and just so smooth. As soon as he left his hand in my mind, I was like, that's in. Boom. He's good. And he's also trucking away with 14.
Ty Malik Autry into the ball game as Cager gets a breather. Here's Spell, a three-pointer that's off the mark. Pender there for the rebound.
Good defense by Blaylock to contest but not foul as he's still on 4 fouls.
Nice drive and dish from Malik Autry to Blaylock, who's able to finish.
The hookarama right there, and Blaylock has the baseline. He's going to finish that 99.9% of the time.
Here's a drive inside, and a foul is going to be called on Malik Autry as Nick McKenzie got inside the lane.
He's saying he kept that left hand just straight up and that the opponent ran into it. Referee disagreeing.
First free throw, no good.
End of the game for the Hornets, number 0, Deshaun Munson.
Kenzie did not make a free throw yesterday. Last year, 13 of 21 for 62%. He did not have an attempt yesterday as well. It's not saying he just sucks at free throw shooting, just never got a chance yesterday. Makes one. 97-75 with 5.5 to go.
Here's Faison driving, scoring. Count it. As Faison will look for his 27th point at the line. A solid offensive afternoon for Brandon Faison. And that's number 5 on Martin Jr.
Yep. 6 of 12 for the day. 5 fouls, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 13 points. And that's it for number 4.
Free throw's good. So 27 for Faison. 175 is the score with 5.5 to play. So if my memory serves me correctly, Next week, Tuesday, there will be 50-cent hot dogs, correct?
Well, that is the idea there.
Or is it conference games only?
I don't remember. I think it's everything because we ran through a lot of hot dogs last year.
Munson at the line. Free throw's good. He'll get one more.
So just a quick look through the stats. These are now career highs for Faison in terms of points, shots made.
Second one off the mark, and Blaylock with the rebound.
As he did not have any stats first couple of years on the top team. And they're high and above what he put up last year in a single game. So career night here for number 1 for the Statesmen.
Here's Blaylock splitting the defense, driving inside, and he's fouled. His spell got him on the arm.
I'll give it 7 rebounds now for KB. So inching closer to that double-double. And that stunner right there just froze the defender, split the gap, just got fouled as he went up to finish. He's looking for points 11 and 12 right here.
They're actually going to put the foul on Jamar Joseph. That's his 4th.
There it is, 50-cent hot dogs.
The official announcement.
Come one, come all.
Blaylock misses the second, but Malik Autry gets the offensive rebound. Here's Faison. A deep three. That one in and out.
Pender trying to make a nuisance of himself, and Blaylock on that last play was pointing up. He wanted the old alley-oop, but Faison wanted the 3.
Here's Munson driving and scoring. He's a special player, the 6'4" senior from East St. Louis. He's got 41.
You said he was going to get 40, or we're saying 50.
I can't tell you the last time an opposing player got a 40 spot in this gym on William Penn.
Blaylock of a straightaway 3, though, and then we get a timeout. Now, Kylie, I got to ask real quick, does it feel weird? Like, I think this is obviously a good game for William Penn, but part of you also says it just doesn't feel like the way the team played in a couple of those opening games last year where you're like, oh, yeah, this team is, like, on top of it right now. And I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. You try not to make any two judgments early in the season and one way or the other, but
because on the one hand, you've blown 2 teams out by 30 points plus, or close to it at least here tonight. You won by 34 last night. 86 points, 100 plus, that's great numbers. When you just look and go, well, Kennard Newman hasn't gotten this. And KB isn't at a double-double yet. And you're just like, well, does that mean this team's just going to get that much better later in the season?
I think it speaks to just the amount of weapons that are there. KB's going to be the focus of scouting reports, but there's 7 or 8 guys that on any given night, as Munson lays it in, could probably get you 25 or 30.
And I think that trip to Benedictine could be revealing, because if they could go down there and get a win to start the year, all of a sudden, for sure, you're thinking this team is definitely up to hype.
Well, and that being a place that has been a trouble spot for them in recent years, that'd be a nice way to start the conference season as Munson gets 2 more. He's got 45.
Pender almost made a nice block there, but just couldn't keep it out of the basket. Munson had a high of 44 last year against Lincoln, so potentially a new career high for points in a game here in their second game. He's made 18 shots, which is 2 above his season high from last year, as well as a new field goal attempted, which was 29 last year. He's attempted 30 here on the night. Another newcomer, Kylie, number 24, Daniel Rosenberg, 6'4" freshman guard from Burnsville, Minnesota, in for the Statesmen.
Free throw is good from Nick McKenzie. 104-84, just over 3 minutes to play.
Rosenberg made a 3 in the first half yesterday to open his account as a Statesman. See if he gets another chance here. Munson just lets him.
On the way, it's no good. Here's McKenzie, guarded by Watkins. He'll spin baseline and lost control of it, and Pender comes out of there with it. Here's Munson inside, and a foul is going to be called.
Free Statesman up challenge, and it's going to go to Pender. That's his fourth, so he will probably come to the bench.
Faison's going to check out, as will Blaylock. Faison leaves with 27 points. Solid ball game for Brandon Faison.
3 assists, 7 rebounds. Career night for number 1, Brandon Faison.
Blaylock, a quiet night by his standards, but that's okay. He didn't need it today.
14 points, better than he did yesterday, though, in quiet points. And that's something that I think even last year he kind of played in the shadow of Dexter Hood and did similar. So if he can, again, just quietly every night get almost a double-double, 14, 16 points, I mean, you're not going to complain about that at all.
Right, and that's, again, I didn't mean he didn't play bad. Just a quiet night for what we're normally seeing from Blaylock. But again, if you can get a quiet night from him and still win by 15 or 20, that speaks volumes to this team and the balance that's there.
We were talking to Cooper Murphy, me and Brian Schlosser earlier, and yeah, maybe all he needs to do is get 14 or 12 and 8, 12 or 10.
There's a drive and finish by Daniel Rosenberg. Rosenberg, the 6'4" freshman from Burnsville, Minnesota. Also into the ball game is Amistad Hackett, a 6'1" junior from South Fallsburg, New York.
But there will be those games where he does go off for 25 and 20, and maybe once he gets deeper into the game, that's deeper in the season, that's when he'll start taking over. And with all the weapons the Statesmen have, it's always in the realm of possibility that KB is going to be open as the newcomers are filling out the court here.
Watkins and Crusoe check out. Quinshawn Freeman checks in. Also in, number 32, that's Derek Holman, the senior from Naperville, Illinois.
Chance for Munson to get to half a century.
And he does. Deshaun Munson with a 50 spot here this afternoon. As on the inside with the finish is Derek Holman.
And the bench gets up for that one. First points for him in a WPU uniform.
Munson doesn't get the call. Here's Holman. He'll drive inside, hang, and that one off the mark. Hackett with a rebound. Here's Holman.
He looked at the bench.
No, he will fire it. It's no good. He looked right at the bench with a smile. And I think Coach Hender's like, yeah, shoot it. That was awesome. If only it had gone in, that was fantastic.
You don't want to say you've never seen it because as you look at all the highlight reels and the announcers are like, I've never seen it.
Man.
But that is something I don't think I have seen very often, if at all. As a player who wants to shoot, look to his coach while he's playing and say, can I shoot the ball? And then shoots a contested free and almost sinks it.
Oh, that was fantastic. And from where we're at, from our normal seat, we were able to actually see the look and smile where maybe we don't see it otherwise. But, that was priceless.
Cheeky grin. Oh, my goodness. And credit to these guys. I mean, the game is well in hand. Almost 20 points here with a minute 20 to go. But they're fighting for these loose balls like there is a 2-point game going on out here. And the bench is starting to get into it, trying to will these guys to get some points and some good plays here as the veterans know that some of these transfers, these freshmen, are the future of William Penn basketball.
Here's Hackett to Holman. Back to Rosenberg, his three is no good. Freeman tracks down the rebound. And now Freeman calls a timeout, and they're going to bring in Thomas Stanley, a 6'4 freshman from Henderson, Nevada.
And the crowd sometimes has power over John Henry when they want the freshman, the new kid that's a fan favorite. A couple times last year they called out for Gabe Larkin, and he responded. And so 1:07 to go for number 21 to make his debut.
No, I'm telling you, Holman or Stanley is going to put this shot up. Here's Jordan Golden. Here's Stanley. A three on the way. Off the mark, no good. Tap back out to Stanley. Elbow jumper. Good!
And he rewards his coach and the crowd. They love it.
The freshman in and immediately gets it to drop. Final minute of action. Here's a three on the way. That's no good. Freeman with the rebound. Freeman to Stanley. Stanley, a little stop and go move. Drive and dish. And the finish by Jordan Golden. Freshman to freshman there. Here's Golden with a block on the other end. But a foul is called. Stanley to Golden.
Stanley handed it off like a quarterback to his running back. Just said, here you go, take it, finish it.
That's the 6'4 freshman to the 6'6 freshman. Hopefully that's the first of many connections between those two in the years to come.
As Golden there almost came in off the block, but got the arm of Joseph as well. So Joseph's the line. He's got 12 points, 4 fouls. His over 90 points are the Hornets, but I don't think in the next 30 seconds they're going to get 10 to get above the century mark, as William Penn has done.
Free throw, no good.
And Stanley, after he made that little jump shot, came back, he had a slight little smile on his face as he was D'ing up. The players are pleased when they make their first bucket. You can't just be that stoic when you play.
No. Stanley with the rebound off the miss. Here's Freeman into the front court. The lob and the finish by Derek Holman. And Holman's going to get a technical for hanging on the rim. Oh, this is great.
They love it.
This is absolutely fantastic.
I mean, that was a down low scoop up lob, and he was just waiting pretty at the rim for it, threw it down. Yeah.
And Holman
takes a bow with his coach. Goodness me.
Oh, this is great.
When the young kids are going to get playing time, they let them play. And Quinton Freeman's a senior, and he's helping these young guys roll and score here better than they did last year. As the refs are talking, and
I mean, there's going to be free throws. There's a technical for hanging on the rim by Holman. That's
even the ref's got a smile on his face, even though he's got to tee him up.
Well, and I think, I mean, you wonder if, I mean, again, we've seen it over the years, when Henry can get to the bench guys, the excitement and the joy that these players see when their bench guys make contributions is always good. But you also sometimes wonder if, with everything that we've gone through from March till now, and thinking, would we have sports? Would we be able to have a season that maybe not taking it for granted, these types of moments, and really cherishing them, knowing that, hey, 9 months ago, this was taken away from us.
And that's what Henry said in his quote to me for the story yesterday is, it was great to lose ourselves for 2 hours in basketball. And Dexter Hood is in the house. He's sitting over in the Penn zone. They had him ring the victory bell yesterday. That got Henry a little emotional because he has had nothing but the utmost praise for the NAIA All-American last year, who, if things are different, probably the coach is saying should be having a minor league deal somewhere or playing in Europe, because with his work ethic, determination, and skill, he's got to end up somewhere.
Right. Final seconds in this one. William Penn's going to go to 2-0 as we got a foul. And we will hopefully be joined by Coach Henry afterwards.
Yeah, sorry about yesterday. We got him up here, but then, and you know what? I'm going to call out my boss here. He came up and said we weren't on the air and cut off our interview, even though we were on the air. So if you have complaints, send them to steinlockyw@wnpenn.edu.
Oh, I love it. We'll try to get his thoughts. Again, they're off this week until Saturday when they hit the road to Benedictine to start conference play. And again, we are not allowed to go to away games this year. Coach Henry says, no more. Dribble this one out.
We've had our fun. The game is done.
114-92, the final in this one. William Penn over Harris Stowe State. Deshaun Munson finishes with 52, I believe.
51 is the final.
Okay,
As he was
51.
20 for 33, 13 boards, 5 assists, 2 fouls, 51 points. Joseph, 13 points, same as Martin Jr., who fouled out. 8 points for Spell, 6 for McKenzie, and a lone point.
A nice moment there as Coach Henry
Nigel Hightower
made
who
a
got
point.
the technical shot.
Coach Henry made a point to talk to Deshaun Munson privately, individually. I'm sure Coach Henry wanting to tell Munson, I'm sure Henry, letting him know the utmost respect that he has for what Munson did here today.
Yeah, and I think Garrett even came over and went to the coach and said, hey, I know I got elbowed, but there's nothing in it there. So
right, yep.
Respect for the teams is Newman finished with 9 points, Faison with 27, 14 for Blaylock, 3 for Ty, 14 for Watkins and Gehring. Gehring and Blaylock tied with 8 rebounds to the team high. 4 boards and assists for Quinshaw and Freeman. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 points for Q Cager. Stanley with a pair, 11 points and 4 rebounds for Eddie Daly. 4 for Holman and 2 for Golden, and of course, a couple for Stanley as well.
William Penn improves to 2-0 on the year. This was a tight battle, and that's what we expected. This is a Harris Stowe State team that was receiving votes in the preseason poll. You can tell Munson leads the way, but it's a solid group that is going to win some ball games and cause some fits this year for other teams. And who knows? Maybe these two teams see each other later in the year.
This was kind of the game that Harris Stowe, I think, probably circled for we could do something because these two teams play similar. William Penn, more of a team game, but run and gun, we want to score. Harris Stowe, we want to score, and it's going to be Munson driving, maybe cherry picking, getting his points. And, they showed themselves. The final score is, of course, pretty big, but
it's not indicative of the game we had.
No, and they were with the Statesmen for most of that first half. So there is something that the Hornets got votes for, and you could see it out there tonight. And I don't know the quality of the AMC compared to some of the other conferences. I've only been in the Hart and the GSAC, and GSAC's really strong. The Hart has been pretty strong, but not as strong this year because only William Penn and then Park was way at the bottom, getting a couple of votes in the Hart coaches poll. But obviously Harris Stowe at the moment on the inside path to title glory down there in the AMC, and yeah, as you said, we'll see what happens as the year moves along.
Convincing win for William Penn, 114-92. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back with Coach Henry, and we'll wrap things up from Penn Gymnasium right after this. You're watching William Penn basketball on the Statesmen Sports Network.